What's going on, MTV? Welcome to my crib. Just kidding. Brad here, founder of Farmhouse and more, and my house is for sale thanks to the great company, Beyond Real Estate with Daniel Vanover. So I figured what better time than now to finally give you guys my micro shop tour or my garage tour. So let's go take a look. But before we get too far into the shop, I want to show you this. Matt Outlaw, 731 Woodworks. I also have a green door. Here we are, where the magic happens. Start out by showing you my workbench. Obviously I have a video where I customize this workbench. If you haven't checked that out, please feel free to go check that out. On my workbench I have my table saw, which it's just a Chicago electric table saw. So it's kind of a piece of junk. I very rarely use it, which I know they say, oh, if you're a woodworker, the most commonly used tool is going to be your table saw. Well, not in this shop because my table saw doesn't really hold 90 very well. So it gets used occasionally, mostly just for ripping down boards. I use my miter saw a lot though because it will hold 90. So here sits my miter, and normally it's sitting everywhere, in the floor, on this workbench, even in the driveway, as you've seen before. So there's the miter saw. And here behind me is my wife's tanning bed. That has nothing to do with the shop, but people keep asking about it. So yes, my wife has a tanning bed. It takes up space in my garage. I'm very limited on clamps. So like here's my two biggest clamps that are just like, hanging on the wall, along with all my yard tools that just also hang on the wall because I have no room for anything. So yeah, I have like 3 clamps there. And then we'll go over here. I have my bar clamps and like a handful, literally just a handful of clamps. Then of course my straight edge. That's really all I got. So you'd probably be surprised that I actually build anything with no clamps. Also on my clamp shelf, I failed to mention that my kids have a giant water slide as well as bouncy house. So I had to build some shelves pretty much specifically to store these things. So there's those. And along with that, we also have our motorcycle parking for all of our heavy duty equipment we got here, along with our Jeep. On this shelf is where we'll have our paint, our stain, our lacquer, our polyurethane, paint thinner, mineral spirits. And then on the far left side over here, we have our tumbler spinners for when we do epoxy tumblers. And then above that, it's just a couple toolboxes with some different parts stored in them. A jug of gas because this is still my garage. And my lawnmower stays in here as well. As you can see right here, I have my heat and my AC. Shop essentials. I know I say don't buy certain things from Walmart, but this one wasn't a bad purchase. It's my shop vac. It doesn't have a specific location. It's just sitting right here at this very moment. It may have been sitting over there, and I've done a video at the other time. It just kind of gets rubbed around. I don't have one of those fancy, air systems or dust collection systems or any of that. I just have a shop vac that I clean up my mess after I make it. Over here is where my planer sits. It was a table saw stand that I kind of modified and put caster wheels on it for my planer because I got tired of lugging that heavy sun gun around. So there's my planer. Next to it, I got a couple of saw horses. I got that hand plane that my brother-in-law just gave me that I don't know how to really use yet, so I haven't used it in any projects because I don't want to film myself tearing stuff up. But I'm gonna learn how to use that. And then of course a bunch of drinks because you got to stay hydrated. Although those are hot and they're really just stored over there because we don't have anywhere in the fridge. Up here on this shelf, I got my sanders and a couple of saws. There's a belt sander I never use. My orbital that I always use, a sheet sander. That's a reciprocating saw, jigsaw, chainsaw, circular saw. So I have this whole shelf. I use this one and this one. The rest of these are very seldomly used. And of course we got our tack bond too. Wood glue with probably, I think, an extra gallon back there. Shop rags, and then our miscellaneous nuts and bolts bins. On this wall I have my most commonly used stuff. Let's see, I got my nut drivers and things of that nature. Got these drill. I do have a smaller level. I got a little right angle and a square. Oh, they're all hanging out here because these get grabbed a lot. Some extra sandpaper stuff. This little dude who has saved my life, and a bunch of sandpaper because I buy in bulk. And got some CA glue. That stuff, people need to talk about that more because that's good stuff. A mallet, you never know when you gotta hit something. So these are the tools that I leave out the most, hanging out. You know, we got a pocket hole jig over here. These are things that I use the most, so they stay out. Stuff inside the toolbox, irrelevant because most of that's mechanic stuff. Yeah. Over here on this wall, got some wood storage, a couple sheets of plywood. A buddy of mine was moving out of his house and he was gonna like throw these away. I was like, nah, that's too expensive. So I got a couple sheets of plywood. No real clue what I'm gonna do with them. Over in that corner, I got some more wood, just kind of stored over there, which is terrible storage, I know. I think I got some more up here, stacked up. And then of course there's a whole slew of it underneath my workbench. And then here I've got some pre-cut pieces for a table I'm about to build, so that's just hanging out there for the moment. But yeah, nothing fancy here. Just a man's garage who shares it with his kids and wife. You definitely need to have Ergo Mats. You can pick these up at Tractor Supply. I mean, they do save your body a little wear and tear. I mean, you gotta have your feet comfortable when you got 9 toes, right? Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you've looked at our portfolio, you're probably like, you made all that in there? And yes I did. And it's not always easy. Sometimes we run out of space. But like I say at the very beginning of my intro, just want to show people that it can be done. You gotta have the want to. So if you want to do it, get out there and do it. It's this easy. I mean, I've got the cheapest tools probably out of anyone you ever see on YouTube. Maybe. And I get it done. So keep that in mind. And thanks for watching. Brad, Tyler Farmhouse and more. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you.